Now, I've been saying it since January, but for real, we are here to do my 2025 craft room tour. So what started as just trying to get a little bit organized last weekend turned into a full-blown go through everything, purge, organize, relabel, etc., etc. So we are going to take a tour of how I have things organized, you know, my thought process behind that. I'll try not to get too horribly long, but it might take a minute. So grab something to drink, settle in, and let's go. Okay, so we're going to kind of start over in this corner of the room, just because when I am sitting at my desk, this is kind of my view. So I've got some samplers from Lauren Seals of 3 Craft Chicks that I love, so I look at those all the time. I have my laser printer and my color printer, so when you order kits from me and you get the printed directions, this is where they're coming from. I am doing all of that myself. And then we're not going to dig too deeply into this, but this is the stamps. The stamps have gotten all disorganized again. It happens every time. Like, I can get them all pretty, and then I do a project, and then it's a mess. So I do need to go through those again, and I will at some point. But let's take a closer look over here at some of the things over in this corner. Okay, so as I said, these are my stamps. This is just a dresser from IKEA. I don't remember where I initially saw the idea to use a dresser for stamp storage, but I really liked the idea, and it fit really well in the room, and it fits perfectly over here in this corner. So that's kind of what I ended up doing. They are kind of a mess. I had them nice and organized at one point. As you can see, I've got a ton of Tailored Expressions because, quite honestly, I love their stamps. They're amazing. Down here we've got Hero Arts. Hero Arts background stamps are like the absolute best. I've got Pajama Crafter stamps. Those are really fun. Joy does some really, really neat designs. I've got some leftover Maker Forte, and then a bunch more Maker Forte still down here, which a lot of that still needs to get purged. I just haven't had the energy to sit and go through it all. And then all of these down here are Christmas stamps. Up top, I've got my label printer, my postage scale, some packing material, and then all of my Doodlebug, well, let's move that. Doodlebug dies and stamp sets are back here in a bin. They used to be in the drawers, and every time I needed one, I couldn't find it, so I moved those this week. And then back here behind my monitor, well, we've got the Cricut that my son painted me like 3 years ago. We have my kind of mini rainbow wall. So, color wall, that is. So, this is all Doodlebug. This is all of like their sprinkles and whatnot up here. And then chunky twine and doodle twine in all of the colors, of course in rainbow order, and then all of just the normal colored shakers that they do now with, that they started doing about 1.5 years ago. Okay, over here we've got my TV. Like I said, I've got my Epson Eco Tank. I'm telling you, this is, I haven't had to add ink to this thing, okay, in almost 1.5 years. It is amazing. I love it. My little HP laser jet, extra paper and printing materials, and then you start getting into actual storage of papers and things. So in here, most all of this on this side is simple storage, simple stories, simple vintage lines, various lines that I absolutely love that I can't part with. And then a couple Echo Park lines over here that, same type of thing. So like the Sea Friends one, I think that's Undersea Adventures, that's the name of that one. And then like the pirate line from Cartabella, which I love, love, love. When you get on down here, I've got my Cricut Joy and all of its pens and things right there. I've got the card kits and the vinyl for the Joy, my large tape rolls, back stock is over here, and the Cricut Joy Extra, which is the slightly bigger one. I actually use this one quite a bit. Has now found a bin. And this entire little drawer unit with all the cables hanging in front of it, this is all Cricut materials, so things that are specific for like the maker. So there's felt, there's their craft board, their really super heavy chipboard. Yeah, so like the felt and all that kind of thing. Yeah, and the craft board, which is like, I don't even know, a ton of that. And I really probably do need to go through this. This is like printable vinyl and sticker paper, all that kind of thing. Okay, so over here we have my castle. I know I should move this and free up quite a bit more storage space or space to display finished projects or whatnot, but I absolutely love this. It sits where I can look at it when I'm working on things, when I'm recording and that kind of thing, and that's why it stays right here where it is. One of my favorite things in the entire room, honestly, and it's not even a paper craft. Okay, so these two drawer units are primarily Doodlebug. There's a little bit extra stuff in there now because I just did my Doodlebug D-stash on Whatnot and purged a ton of stuff, like old stuff. I think the oldest thing I had in that sale was from 2003, and Doodlebug has been around 25 years. So yeah. And I haven't even been paper crafting that long, so that tells you something. So we can look through those in just a second. And then I've got my little cart here that, this is of course the Weird Memory Keepers project cart, and it's just got finished albums that I don't have a home for, or that I want to like redo and revamp, that kind of thing. So we'll remove that out of the way. And then over here we have finished projects, like finished, almost everything on this is Doodlebug with the exception of like maybe 3 projects over here. And this little bookcase thing used to be in my son's room when he was very, very little, and he just had, you know, some picture books and things, and it is my husband's version of a really expensive Pottery Barn bookshelf that sat like flat up against the wall, like on top of a baseboard, that I loved and was like, I couldn't justify. I think it was like $600 or $700, and he built this for my son's room back when we lived in Virginia. When we got here, he had acquired too many books for it, so we ended up adapting it and putting it in my craft room when he built my craft room. So yeah, lots and lots of Doodlebug projects over here. The majority of these, like there's a couple of them that are ones I've done, like this was one I did for Doodlebug for the design team. This was one I did for CCC for the design team. I've got some of Lauren's samplers up here as well because I love them. And unfortunately, she's not doing those anymore at this point. Hopefully again in the future, they're amazing. But most of these projects are Lauren projects. So Lauren Seals with 3 Craft Chicks and her mother, Michelle Craft, who is amazing and one of my favorite people in the world. These are primarily, like this one's one of mine, that one's one of mine. This one I think is one of mine. I know there's one of these tag albums that is one I did for Doodlebug, but most of these are Lauren projects for the most part. So, and of course, like I said, you know, my Lego castle, because I love it. All right, so then we get into the Doodlebug papers. Up here we've got jars of buttons, and one empty jar because I have a ton of buttons but couldn't fill that one up. And then I've got like ephemera and stuff that goes with the Simple Stories, Simple Vintage stuff that's down there. Right here, because of my junk journal stuff, this is antique ledger paper so that they're stored flat, and then old like magazines from the 40s and 50s that I would use for junk journal things. But yeah, so the Doodlebug. So I've got pattern paper scraps. I'm actually getting ready to empty this one out. I will be doing a whatnot show with scrap packs here next Wednesday. These are all Doodlebug card packs, so the card and envelope packs that they do for each collection. I purged about better than half of these. That's what I held on to. This is the little glitter and the like washi tape sets that I got as part of design team. A couple of miscellaneous collections. Mostly it's for the Dragon Tales collection in here because it's an older one. It is one of my absolute favorites, so I have it kind of hoarded separate from everything else. Fun at the Park. Okay, can we just say how much I love this one? This is all paper from Fun at the Park. This is all the ephemera, so the odds and ends, the chit chat, everything. Christmas ribbons. Christmas ribbons. That one's actually empty. These two are both empty. Not Doodlebug, Graphic 45 and Tim Holtz tags. Doodlebug cute clips and some random jewels, and then like the letters and numbers. Whoops. Okay, mini clothespins and mini paper clips and some other little buttons and things that they don't do anymore. And then this is all of, and again, I purged better than half of these. So these are shape sprinkles and enamel dots and that kind of thing. And then we have cardstock scraps. These I do dig out before I actually ever pull out a fresh sheet of cardstock, especially if I'm using it for something with the Cricut, because it just, you know, that's literally the only reason I hang on to those kind of scraps. Okay, so then coming over here, this is a couple of the paper storage that are not for IKEA from Stampin' Storage, who, by the way, is having free shipping this weekend. I do have an affiliate code in my, or affiliate link in the description of this video. But this is all My Colors cardstock. An extra Doodlebug advent calendar. The advent calendar I totally destroyed to make into a Halloween one, and I have not had time to finish. Maybe it'll happen this year. We'll see. And then Doodlebug albums. You know, some of them have layouts and whatnot. These are from Tailored Expressions. And these are their Create and Quad stencils. So these are layering stencils that you end up with 4 card panels out of one stencil set. They're amazing. And I have 3 binders of them. So there you go. Cricut things. I thought this was flowers. Why didn't I go through this the other day? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I have something else to go through now. And then this is actually the Simple Stories Say Cheese Magic collection. So they did those individual ones for like Epcot and Hollywood Studios and all that. I have all of that to do something with, and I have not had a chance to actually finish it. Okay, so the IKEA Kallax, absolute the best storage ever. As you can see, we have a ton of finished projects up top. I have, again, the Stampin' Storage paper holders for the Kallax. Make sure you check that, because this is why I have 4 of them that are not Kallax, because they had a really good sale last summer and I wasn't paying attention. I ordered 4 that were not the right ones, but that's okay. All of this is Doodlebug, Doodle Pops, because I have a problem. Doodlebug all the way down here, and then just the drawer cabinets, and we can go through those in just a second. The stamp pad carousels from Stampin' Storage. I don't know why that one's pushed back. So all of my Tim Holtz inks, Tailored Expressions, and then again I've got more papers, acrylic, more papers, and a cart full of nonsense. Okay, so as I said, paper. So random Christmas paper, Halloween paper, fall paper. Look how cute that is. That's an old one too. That's from 2015. winter. I'm not even sure. Calendar stuff. Oh, that's the school days. Lots and lots of paper. Random paper that needs filtered in with its associated collections. And then I've got, Christmas. Got some photo play scraps that should have gotten purged and I missed. Got a little bit more simple stories over here. 49 in Market. What else have we got? Oh, random cardstock. More random cardstock. Yeah, I didn't purge. I did not go through these upper ones at all because I can tell you a lot of this is going to end up in my scrap pack stale. And then I've got some photo play, and I know there's like some Stamperia and some more Stamperia over here. And then again, simple stories, and this is where I've like forced the ephemera to fit in with the other stuff, and I'm not super happy with it, but it'll be okay. I must have won that because my name's on it. So yeah, just, various things like that. Into the drawers, and these drawers are IKEA. So I've got all of the Doodlebug doilies, both sizes, and then a bunch of Doodlebug's Traveler's Notebooks. This is older ribbons and brads and braddies, which are the little shaped brads, and like the ribbon packs that they used to do. Craft paint from when I was doing the paint stand, or the paint kits. This is just some like Graphic 45 Traveler's Notebook inserts and a couple of Simple Stories that I just haven't found another home for. This is all Doodle Pops, and let's see if I can pull one of these out. Okay, so I made these with a file that I found on Etsy. I did cut them with the Glowforge with the intention of them being kind of a test thing and possibly selling them. Absolutely not. Those things were so hard to put together and get lined up, and they're just awful. But Doodle Pop storage, look for Pokemon trading card cases. They fit perfectly. That's what these were supposed to be. They're supposed to have lids. They don't have lids. The lids never fit. So there you go. Doodlebug paper, and I just picked these up. I've got some more coming if FedEx ever decides to show up today. These cases are from Hobby Lobby. They were like $7, but they hold a ton. And they all sit in here, like standing up, and I can label them so I can see what I have. So I have a couple of bins sitting out in the hall that are going to go into those cases as soon as they get here. I still need to do that with those as well. And with all of this, extra tape, and for some reason a paper pad. I'm not sure why that's there. This is Doodlebug alphabets, and then icon stickers, extra odds and ends packs, odds and ends, chit chat, etc. Mini icons and puffy icons, and 6x6 pads. And again, so much of this got purged. Like, you guys, you have no idea. It was out of control. So, and then the drawer cabinets, we've got paintbrushes. I have other random brads that I'm not quite sure why I'm hanging on to them, but there you go. Water brushes and elastic cord. Metal embellishments, which I have way more than I thought I did. Little wood embellishments, lights and paper clips. The large crocodile gets its own drawer because otherwise it gets buried. I labeled this chunky embellishments. I'm not sure why. Probably because of the album. I don't know. It is what it is. It's fine. The label maker, the Simon Hurley stamping foam. So you can see one there where I had done that on a class and didn't like heat it to get the shape out of it. But that stuff's actually really fun to play with. The rest of these three are empty. Over here we have like the 5 ink cubes that don't fit in my carousel with my distress ink. So I have every one of the oxides, and then not a ton of like the regular distress ink. So That's what's up here. These are extra Tailored Expressions ink pads, new ones that have come out. I've run out of space in my carousel, so I really need to get another one. That one's empty. This is random blending tools, so like the blending brushes like this. The new Simon Hurley ones I still have not had a chance to test out, and I bought them like 2 months ago. Simon Hurley inks, which these are the same as his, the same colors, same ink formulations, everything. These are just his new ones that have like a foam ink pad, very much like the Maker Forte ink did. I have re-inkers for all of these, so I have kept, and honestly, like the color palette on the Maker Forte inks was amazing. But I have all of their little re-inkers. I have the Simon Hurley re-inkers, so I just need another one of the little grids like this, like I have for all my Tailored Expressions re-inkers, for this drawer. I just haven't ordered it yet. Okay. Acetate. Lots and lots of acetate. Random CCC collections that I actually like and don't want to get rid of. Just other random paper. And I mean, that's basically everything back in here. Like all of this up here is Graphic 45, but it's Graphic 45. It's not going anywhere. Stamperia, Cartabella, yeah. So like paper collections I absolutely love and I can't part with are all kind of back in there. And then I think that's like, I'm not sure what those two are. One of those I know is Cricut infusible ink, and the other one's like, oh, the big Xyron is in there. That's what it was. And then I organized all of my acrylic sheets. These are all the like brand new ones, all organized, ready to go. And then I went through and like purged acrylic scraps last night. Let me tell you, that was not fun. Stencils. So all of my stencils are in here. Random Ryobi tools. So like the big glue gun, a little like Dremel tool, and then paint brushes. Because I literally don't ever roll that cart anywhere. Okay. Junk journal supplies. This we're not going to dig too deeply into. I need to go through and do some more organizing again, and it's like an all-day process because I have to, there's so many little things to go through, but this is all stuff for junk journals. So I have like vintage ribbons and fibers and that kind of thing. I'm losing the little cat butt magnet off the front of my cabinet here. Different vintage papers and ledgers and that kind of thing. A lot of it sorted by theme. So like this is all Disney things for junk journals. This is all like cards and postcards and tickets and that kind of thing. This one, I am not honestly sure what's in this one. I don't think these ever got labeled. Then the two bins that are on the floor, same thing. More junk journal, and then random Glowforge related things. So like the microfiber cloths, the rubbing alcohol, that kind of thing, all in there. Up here is again more Glowforge stuff. I go through the lens wipes like crazy. It's insane. Extra Glowforge. Any extra wood that I have is up on top. So that's kind of that little area. And the Glowforge. After the whole fiasco, which if you have followed me for any length of time with it dying, not even 9 months into me owning it, this is the replacement. We're going to use it till it dies, and then we'll look for something else. Maybe by then I'll be over it. But the toolbox. So this was something that several years ago, Maker Forte, so Alex, Hedgehog Hollow, total scammer. It's a whole thing. Anyway, she had put one in a huge one in her craft room and how well it organized the craft stuff. And I gotta say, absolutely freaking amazing. So this entire drawer is shaker fill. Yes, I have a problem. Yes, I probably need to purge some of it. But every time I look in it and I think, oh yes, I should purge that, I should purge that, I get in here and I go, oh no, I can't do that. I love it all. I love it all. Look at it. I mean, how could you not love this stuff? It's just, it's a problem. Like, what is that? don't even know. Yeah, so that's a problem. My next two drawers, for the most part, are mixed media. So I've got shimmer paste from Altenew that I still have got to test out. I've got watercolor, I've got Spectrum Noir Sparkle, I've got Distress Paste and Prima Paint and Vicky Bouton Paste and Prima Pearls, and then a bunch of random like shaker toppers that don't have another home. Hero Arts watercolor splatter stuff. I'd used it in a class and really liked it, and when Joann's was closing down I got a bunch of those super cheap. Embossing powders. So it's like, this thing is perfect for all those like random small things that, you know, if you put them in bins, then you have to shift the bins around and dig through them and whatnot, because the drawers pull all the way out. Like, it's the best ever. So embossing powders, lots and lots of embossing powders. Again, more random blending tools, mini distress ink, mini archival ink, which I actually need to purge those. I literally never use them. Some distress re-inkers, some sequins. Other side, we've got gems and pearls. And again, I would purge, but the second I do, I know I'm going to need something out of here. So they've just kind of stayed. Okay, that says buttons. It's not buttons well, it is buttons. I take it back. So we have shaped buttons and like by theme, and then we've got metal embellishments and charms and things, and then all of the Doodlebug washi tape. I don't know why. I literally rarely use it except to like hold dies down or like tape things to other things, but it's there. And then down here we have toner foiling. So if you are unfamiliar with the toner foiling, let's grab Taylor Expressions one. Toner foiling, you use a laminator, or in my case I have the Gina K fuse machine. It's amazing. I love it. So I've got a whole bunch of foilable things from Taylor Expressions. I've got my Gina K Intracut, I've got a Cricut, Kettlebug, and then I've got the Diamond Press one, which I thought I actually had pulled this out of here to purge because the Diamond Press one is going away. I literally never use it. Okay, and so the corner that started the whole deep clean, because in putting away the doom piles, because there were many, I decided I needed to organize the cardstock. So this is a combination of Taylor Expressions and Maker Forte, like 110-pound cardstock for card making. So card bases, die cuts, that kind of thing. Yeah, so that's all of that. I've got my blending brushes, I've got dies, in those three I've got a bunch of Altenew Doodlebug solid cardstock, color cubes, more paste, mini die cut machine, all of that kind of thing. So for a closer look, so these cases are from Tailored Expressions. The cases, they're sitting in the wood part, come from Stamp and Storage, so they have partnered with Tailored Expressions for these. But these cases, I have a bunch of junk journal stuff in these, in the ones without this little divided insert. I love these. These things are like the perfect size. So I'm weird and I want individual blending brushes for individual colors, so this is what we got going. And then I've got like some other blending foams, because occasionally I do use those. I prefer the blending brushes. The paper pouncers, I love the paper pouncers. And then that's empty for some reason. And then the Lisa Horton interference inks, which are amazing, but I was having some issues with them, so they're all stored upside down to see if that helped. This is all Tailored Expressions dies, and they are actually sorted. There are little dividers in here, so like elements and shapes. Stacklets, which are their nested dies. Easy strips, which is a card making technique. So that's all of those. Get that out of the way. Some random stuff I didn't quite know what to do with. Dies. So I've got these, of course, are all sorted. So I've got some of the heartfelt ones still. I have nesting dies from other companies. I have flowers. Again, most of those are from Heartfelt. Shapes and elements, which are all over the place. borders, layering dies, card builders, holidays, all kinds of stuff in here. So that's all of those. And those don't, these I need to take off their backing part because they literally don't fit anywhere. And then, Scrap Diva. This is all Scrap Diva dies. And I have a bunch I need to label still and put in pockets and things that I haven't gotten to yet. But, yeah, lots and lots and lots of her dies. Because I don't do a ton of die cutting, but I love her dies. I love her box dies, all of her different little memory decks dies. Like, they're just amazing. What is that one? That's really neat. I have no idea if that was very cool. Okay. So there's that. This is just an envelope full of duplicates that I've managed to order. This is all Altenew stamps, dies, stencils, so on and so forth. And then I have a whole bunch of embossing folders back there. I don't use them a ton. That's also the snack corner, which is mostly at the moment trail mix. So this is, again, another one of the standalone paper organizers from Stamp and Storage. All of my Doodlebug cardstock in rainbow order, extra like little pockets and things up there, and then of course all of the Tailored Expressions cardstock in rainbow order, which it needs refined because it's like messed up over here, but that's okay. And then this is the jar carousel, the medium jar carousel from Stamp and Storage. So I've got the Simon Hurley Lunar Paste, I've got a bunch of the Tailored Expressions, what do they call it? Happy Medium. And I tell you what, this stuff does not dry out. It's amazing. And I've got a bunch of Brutus Monroe up there too. The color cubes, which are to help you like come up with a color palette for cards, that kind of thing. I've got markers. If we get over here into this corner, so those are my puzzle trays that I of course use when I'm sorting out Doodlebug things. That's just some random stuff I need to go through. Markers. I have the Olo markers. I love them. They're amazing. And they're coming out with new ones, so yeah, I'm gonna have to expand that out. Okay, so then we get into my actual work area. So again, Stamp and Storage, you know, I know they're pricey. They're worth every cent. I can't even tell you. I put off buying anything of theirs for a long time because of the price, and it is 1000% worth it, I gotta say. This is not an ad for Stamp and Storage, by the way. I just love it, so I'm telling you. So yeah, this whole area starting about here on around is my main work area, so we are going to take a more detailed look through that. And all of the nonsense that's over here. Because amazingly, I have purged a ridiculous amount of stuff. And somehow, I still have too much stuff. But that is the life of a crafter, is it not? Okay, so when you get over here in my work area, these drawers are from Michaels. They actually will hold quite a bit. I love these. So top drawer, we've got chipboard. So we're moving into the area where I spend most of my time, so everything is within easy reach. Like I just kind of have to turn and roll and grab it. Card making, like for card bases and stamping and ink blending, because you do need different paper for that. So you don't have floppy cards. Lightweight chipboard, Cricut mats. I know it's a problem. Tape sheets and like glue dots and zots and that kind of thing in here. And then random cardstock and magnet cards for dies in the bottom. On top, I've got like my magnets are in there, shipping tags, a Tim Holtz trimmer that I rarely use, just other little random things like my color swatches right there. This is a IKEA Alex drawer unit. I don't love this. If I could fit another one of the Michaels ones in here, I absolutely would, but I don't have the space. So top drawer is random adhesive, some other like wider foam tape, tape gun refills, extra scissors, punch boards, and I redid all of my labels the other day. And I know it sounds totally nerdy, but that was actually fun. bookbinding, the different punch boards like envelope punch board and whatnot. Colored pencils, which I know you guys don't see me use these in tutorials because I don't typically do card tutorials, but I do use this stuff with cards. This is all of my stamping specific stuff, so like my little Tim Holtz trimmer, the Misty little scoreboard, heat tool for embossing, that kind of thing. The drawer of foam tape, because of course I have a drawer of foam tape. Is anybody surprised by this with the number of shakers I make? So yeah, random sizes of foam tape, and then just notepads. This, again, were the two of the four paper holders from Stamp and Storage that do not fit in IKEA. And I knew it was going to cost me a fortune to send them back, and I was like, oh wait, will they fit under my table? So they do, even though they have like a little, they're sitting on a little pedestal that my husband built. But so this is all petite prints, Doodlebug petite prints, and they are sorted by color and then by pattern. So yeah, I have all of those, and then my cardstock, my luxury linen cardstock at the bottom. So we have the creme brulee, we have black truffle, we have white cashmere, and we have a couple sheets of the Ferrari red, which I'm almost out of. I don't know if I'm restocking that. And then, like I said, you know, markers and things. Up top, I've got just random things in my little fruit crate shelves. They hang beautifully. I think they're still on my website. I'm not sure. I think they're on my website in clearance, actually. Doodlebug shadow boxes, Doodlebug pins, because I've got tons of them. And then more just like, so there's like all of my Doodlebug shaped shaker pieces. I can't even talk, you guys. And then my little frog press thing from Pajama Crafter Stamps. He's here mostly because he's adorable. I've used him like twice, but he's adorable, so he lives up here. And then I've got like paper clips and other clips and that kind of thing. Coming on down here, I've got the mini ink carousel with the mini Tailored Expressions ink cubes and like some Hero Arts and that kind of thing. And then these are some like little, I don't remember what they have a name. Tailored Expressions. They're perfect for, you know, like I've got foam squares, I've got pens, I've got pencils, I've got some other blending brushes from Waffle Flower, but the little cabinet thing that they're in was, again, Stamp and Storage, and I'm really glad I did this because this has been really easy to kind of corral some of these, you know, weirder small things that tend to kind of get shoved places. And then these are the smaller drawer cabinets from Stamp and Storage. These have only been out maybe 6 months or so. I love them. They kind of hold a little bit of everything. So like I've got pens. So this is like the markers and things I would use with journaling or cards or whatever. Little glue tubes, again, cards, extra bone folders, maybe. Other scissors, so like my little cutter bees and my haberdashery scissors and whatnot are in there. Erasers and other small things, that kind of thing. Like my corner rounders are all down in this drawer. Or, well, the ones like this that I use all the time. Yeah, so I absolutely adore those. Other stuff that I use fairly regularly, like my glue and whatnot, bigger bone folder, that kind of thing. When you get over here on the computer, of course, this is where I edit everything. I've got my little stickers from Wish Upon Magic. So that's, if you're unaware, Muffin from Bluey, who is my spirit animal, I just gotta say. And then we have Barfy Remy, because how could I not? Seriously, I love it. Anyway, Wish Upon Magic, absolutely the best as far as like random Disney stickers, like on my cup, that kind of thing. Down here, we've got glass board back in here, a couple of different self-healing mats. This is all acetate. Oh, and the bottom of that just popped out. Dang, I'm gonna take it apart and fix it. Which I'm not surprised. That's things like full, has been full for a while. Vellum and my little sticky folio that I use sometimes. Score tape, So like the bigger rolls and like 1/4 inch, that kind of thing. Just random, I don't know why that's in there. Anyway, I think that's supposed to be in the junk journal stuff. Link stands and other random stuff there. And then like the charging cables and whatnot for different cameras. This is petite print scraps. Yes, I do go through those and pull things out and use them. That is paper for a class I'm working on, a private class. And then down here is the collections that I will be designing with next. So I've got my Simple Vintage Believe, Christmas Mouse, Classic Mouse Christmas, and so on. So that's where those live as soon as I get the product, but I haven't done anything with it yet. And of course, the desk. So, computer, there is my camera set up. My husband came up with this because I don't have the space to do like the big professional lights or any kind of, you know, bigger camera rig or whatever. So he came up with that. It is literally pipe from Lowe's, and then my Archon mounts are just clamped onto that, and I can raise and lower them and take them off and move them if I need to. I did upgrade my camera. Got upgraded for Mother's Day, which was awesome. It's made a huge difference. My Cricut lights so that I can kind of move them around and adjust where my light sits. My big dolly trimmer that I use all the time. And then I need to relabel where my ink pads go, so I've got extra color labels from Tailored Expressions. I've got a glass mat in here I need to get rid of because I literally haven't used it in probably 3 or 4 years. I tend to use my little mini one that's in here. And then the top drawer has my scoreboard, paper trimmers I use, and a plethora of rulers and T-squares because, you know, one's not enough apparently. Over here, that's the bin that I toss all of the recyclable paper scraps into. I've got like random 8.5 by 11 paper back there for dies. Hole punches and corner rounders in this top drawer, and my tiny attacher, chipboard scraps, swatches and templates. So like all of my Olo marker swatches are in here. I've got Doodlebug swatches. I've got all my ink swatches for Tailored Expressions. Stickles, I don't know why I still have them. It's so rare I actually pull those out. Kaleidoscope powders from Maker Forte, which are amazing, and I cannot part with them because you can mix them into like pastes and that kind of thing. So circle punches and tab punches in here. I finally moved all of my border punches where I can actually get to them because that's been a problem for a while. Matting cardstock, like 8.5 by 11 in there, and then this is more like specialty cardstock, so I've got a bunch of like 8.5 by 11 shimmer cardstock and watercolor cardstock, and then random tools. So this is basically hammer, nails, drill bits, that kind of thing. So yeah, there you go. And then up above, of course, we have the Sizzix. Oops, I got a mess. My Sizzix electric die cut machine. I've got my Cricut. I've got the Silhouette, which is a waste of space, and we're gonna try updating it one more time this weekend. And if it doesn't work, it's gone. I'm so over it. The memory decks boxes I was playing with designing, so they're a little bit wider for like the Scrap Diva dies, because hers tend to be kind of big. And then Tailored Expressions foam tape and some holders that I got from Blue Sparkle is the name of the website. So they are 3D printed dispensers for foam tape. In and out trays. I don't know. The paper crate that got all jacked up, so I ended up making a second one for a design team project. Random paper that needs a home. And 2 paper collections down here that I think I'd talked to a couple of different people about doing an album for them, like remaking one I had already done. But I don't remember for sure, so they're just kind of there. And then the 2 Doodlebug collections I will be working with next. Monster Madness, because they did not come out with new Halloween this year, which made me kind of sad. Monster Madness, which I never got to play with. I am so excited. I love this one. And then a pumpkin. So those will be coming up here in the next couple of weeks. All right, so that is it. That is my craft room. We're not going to go into the doom closet because it's gotten out of control again. I need to, once I get these other kits ready, I need to just pull literally every single item out of it and redo it. And that's going to take me probably an entire weekend, and I'm not looking forward to it because I haven't done it that way in a long, long time, but I'm going to have to, whether I want to or not. But that's okay. You've seen everything else. The only thing I did not show you is the purge pile sitting in the hallway. So thank you for watching if you're still here at this point. And stick around for another minute or two and I'll show you the purge pile and some of the albums. Thanks, guys. Behold the purge pile. I found an entire box of Doodlebug that I missed for that de-stash the other day. These are all scrap packs. These are other random things. And then you start getting into my cardstock for my store and kits and everything else because my basement's a disaster again. So there you go.